First of all, I got this Friday night, just got paid. That's the song. Cause it's Friday. What's up? Freedom Friday. I'm not about to do a Freedom Friday for you people who've been with me for a minute. I don't want you to be like, oh, she about to do a Freedom Friday. I'm not. I'm your girl, Pastor Courage Molina, and this is day 56 of the Chronological Bible Reading Plan. I'm going to read for you today Numbers 5 through 6. We do this every day. This is just it's a great way for us to build the habit of being in the word every day. It's a great way for us to build the habit of daily Bible reading more than just one verse, right? Certainly you want to meditate and study and things like that, but studying requires for you to really slow down and dig deep, and I'm all for that. But then what happens, you don't know the other parts of the Bible. So just if you were committed to reading through the Bible every year in addition to your Bible study, what would that look like? Who would you become? Right? How more quickly would you develop in your spiritual maturity? All right, let's get into this because it's Friday. Sometimes I think about not doing it on Friday. Oh, I don't have any water over here. I'm tripping. I don't even have any water in this room in case my throat get dry. We'll just see if the throat gets dry, and then if it does, I'll get up and get some, this is our time together. You know what I mean? All right. So let's get into Numbers chapter 5. This is the New Living Translation. Wait. If you like this video, then like this video. If you like these videos, then like this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Drop something in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching. What's up, Shelly? I have some of y'all on the West Coast. What's up to my West Coast people that are not live with us? They cannot be in the chat. Well, they could, but they're not in the chat live because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning when we're doing this over there. So I get it. It's fine. But what's up, West Coast? West Coast, if you're watching, just drop a little something in the chat. I've been thinking I want to go to the West Coast. I've been really thinking I want to move to California. I'm not saying I'm gonna, but I've been thinking like, oh, I could move to California. Let me get to this Bible reading. Chapter 5. The Lord gave these instructions to Moses. Command the people of Israel to remove from the camp anyone who has a skin disease or a discharge or who has become ceremonially unclean by touching a dead person. This command applies to men and women alike. Remove them so that they will not defile the camp in which I live among them. So the Israelites did as the Lord had commanded Moses and removed such people from the camp. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If any of the people, men or women, betray the Lord by doing wrong to another person, they are guilty. They must confess their sin and make full restitution for what they have done, adding an additional 20% and returning it to the person who was wronged. But if the person who was wronged is dead and there are no near relatives to whom the restitution can be made, the payment belongs to the Lord and must be given to the priest. Those who are guilty must also bring a ram as a sacrifice, and they will be purified and made right with the Lord. All the sacred offerings that the Israelites bring to a priest will belong to him. Each priest may keep all the sacred donations that he receives. Each priest may keep all the sacred donations that he receives. I really like this. Again, instruction. Again, understanding that if you do something, not just instruction, but also like, what do you call, like procedures. Also how to deal, what to do when somebody does this or does this wrong thing. What do you do with them? How can you get them back to like this right place? How can you get them back so they can be right with God? Even if the person that you've wronged is dead and they don't have any relative, you still owe that. You can give it to the Lord. You can give it to the priest. What you give to the priest is like, this thing that it's like this holy thing given to the Lord. All the sacred offerings, it's a sacred offering to God that the Israelites bring to a priest will belong to the priest, but the priest gets to keep it. Each priest may keep all the sacred donations that he receives. That's something. Verse 11, protecting marital faithfulness. Okay, here we go. I feel like I need to take out my pink highlighter, Bible highlighter for this, just in case. And the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Suppose a man's wife goes astray and she is unfaithful to her husband and has sex with another man, but neither her husband nor anyone else knows about it. She has defiled herself, even though there were no witnesses, and she was not caught in the act. If her husband becomes jealous, is suspicious of his wife, and needs to know whether or not she has defiled herself, the husband must bring his wife to the priest. He must also bring an offering of 2 quarts of barley flour to be presented on her behalf. Do not mix it with the olive oil or frankincense, for it is a jealousy offering and an offering to prove whether or not she is guilty. Oh, this is the one I don't like this one, but I remember it. I never studied it, but I just remember reading this. Verse 16. The priest will then present her to stand trial before the Lord. He must take some holy water in a clay jar and pour into it dust he has taken from the tabernacle floor. When the priest has presented the woman before the Lord, he must unbind her hair and place in her hands the offering of proof, the jealousy offering, to determine whether her husband's suspicions are justified. The priest will stand before her, holding the jar of bitter water that brings a curse to those who are guilty. The priest will then put the woman under oath and say to her, if no other man has had sex with you, and you have not gone astray and defiled yourself while under your husband's authority, may you be immune from the effects of this bitter water that brings on the curse. But if you have gone astray by being unfaithful to your husband and have defiled yourself by having sex with another man, at this point, the priest must put the woman under oath by saying, may the people know that the Lord's curse is upon you when he makes you infertile, because your womb, and when he makes you infertile, causing your womb to shrivel and your abdomen to swell. Now may this water that brings the curse into your body and cause your abdomen to swell and your womb to shrivel. And the woman will be required to say, yes, let it be so. And the priest will write these curses on a piece of leather and wash them off into the bitter water. He will make the woman drink the bitter water that brings on the curse. When the water enters her body, it will cause bitter suffering if she is guilty. What does it sound like to y'all? I'm asking what it sounds like. I'm not asking what it is. I'm asking what it sounds like. I think one of the most dangerous things we can do as people of God is to read the word. And as we read it, kind of sanitize it a bit so it doesn't sound like what it sounds like. What does that sound like to y'all? That sounds like craziness to me. I know that it also sounds like witchcraft. I know that it's not, right? Like, I know that it's not, because it's coming from God, and witchcraft does not come from God. Do you understand? But if I'm just looking at these acts, it's what it sounds like. There's a feeling that comes up like, what now? You can't ignore that feeling, because then you don't have an open and honest relationship with the word. You got to let the word know, like, bruh, you tripping. But you keep reading, and then you study it because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to you. And so then this is an area where I'm just curious. What exactly is this? How often did they do this? Was this ever a practice that they stopped? When did they stop practice? I mean, I don't know that people do this now, but when did they stop practicing this? Was it when Jesus came? Did Jesus ever say anything about this? Did Jesus ever reference this? Did anybody else ever reference this? Was there a prophet that referenced this someplace else in the Bible? I don't know. It's not something I've studied. But if I allow myself to feel my feelings when I'm reading it, it will lead me to get a greater understanding of it. Will lead me to get a greater understanding, instead of just being like, oh, that sounds godly, and then just keep reading. Like, your emotions come up for a reason. It's an invitation. I feel like anytime you feel a way about the word, it's an invitation to study it and get to know God even better. Because sometimes it's like that math ain't math. This right here sounds, I immediately think, and I'm not condoning cheating, but I immediately think, like, I wonder how many men were suspicious of their wives and I wonder if there was any manipulation, like maybe somebody put poison in it or put something that would make her stomach upset so that then I could be like, oh, she guilty. And then she could get whatever she's supposed to get as a result. Do you know what I'm saying? I just immediately started to wonder about those things because while God is good, men be doing the most. Human beings is what I mean, mankind. Verse 25, the priest will take the jealousy offering from the woman's hand, lift it up before the Lord, and carry it to the altar. He will take a handful of the flour as a token portion and burn it on the altar, and he will require the woman to drink the water. If she has defiled herself by being unfaithful to her husband, the water that brings on the curse will cause bitter suffering. Her abdomen will swell and her womb will shrink, and her name will become a curse among her people. But if she has not defiled herself and is pure, then she will be unharmed and will still be able to have children. This is the ritual law for dealing with suspicion. If a woman goes astray and defiles herself while under her husband's authority, or if a man becomes jealous and is suspicious that his wife has been unfaithful, the husband must present his wife before the Lord, and the priest will apply this entire ritual law to her. The husband will be innocent of any guilt in this matter, but his wife will be held accountable for her sin. No matter how your husband is treating you, you can't cheat. No matter what he's doing, no matter how he's leading, if he's a godly man, not a godly man, no matter what is happening, if you cheat, then you are responsible for that sin. That tells us that. It shows us the importance of women staying committed to the husbands that they say I do to. And that suspicion is something that happens, right? And jealousy is something that has to be atoned for. There's an atonement for it. There's jealousy is not, it might be a feeling. It might be a natural, there are lots of natural feelings. That's what I think people miss that. People think that because it feels natural. I think because people think because it feels natural, it means like, oh, it feels natural. So it's from God. It feels natural. So it's okay. I'm only human. Jealousy is a natural human feeling and it still requires atonement. There has to be a jealousy offering, right? Verse or chapter 6, the Nazarite laws. So y'all know that who was a Nazarite? They don't cut their hair, they don't do this, they don't do that. That's all from this Nazarite laws. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If any of the people, either men or women, take the special vow of a Nazarite, setting themselves apart to the Lord in a special way, they must give up wine and other alcoholic drinks. They must not use vinegar made from wine or from other alcoholic drinks. They must not drink fresh grape juice, and they must not eat grapes or raisins. Wow. As long as they are bound by their Nazarite vow, they are not allowed to eat or drink anything that comes from a grapevine, not even the grape seeds or skin. They must never cut their hair throughout the time of their vows, for they are holy and set apart to the Lord. Until the time of their vow has been fulfilled, they must let their hair grow long, and they must not go near a dead body during the entire period of their vow to the Lord. Even if the dead person is their own father, mother, brother, or sister, they must not defile themselves, for the hair on their head is the symbol of their separation to God. This requirement applies as long as they are set apart to the Lord. If someone falls dead beside them, the hair they have dedicated will be defiled. They must wait for 7 days and then shave their heads. Then they will be cleansed from their defilement. On the 8th day, they must bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest at the entrance of the tabernacle. I just want to say that they didn't do anything and they're defiled, right? Come on. They've been set aside. Come on. They've been set aside holy. They're made a vow to separate themselves. They're not gonna drink nothing. They're not having nothing that's got to do with grapes. They're not eating no raisinets. They not getting no raisins in they salad, no carrot cake, none of that. Nothing with the raisin or grape juice, not sparkling, nothing with wine, not any red wine vinegar, none of that. Nothing that comes from the vine. They're not doing any of that. They've dedicated themselves. They mama died. They're not going by the body. They daddy, their brother, their sister, they're not going by the body because they are separated. I'm sitting minding my business and somebody drops dead next to me. I haven't done anything wrong, yet they are defiled. That's deep. Verse 11, the priest will offer one of the birds for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. In this way, he will purify them from the guilt they incurred through contact with the dead body. Then they must reaffirm their commitment and let their hair begin to grow again. The days of their vow that were completed before their defilement no longer count. Wow. They must rededicate themselves to the Lord as a Nazarite for the full term of their vow. Wow. And each must bring a 1-year-old male lamb for a guilt offering. So that, let's say, I don't know, maybe it's going to tell us. I mean, I don't know yet, but so they have a vow. Are they saying for their life? Are they saying for a year, for 5 years, I'm going to live my life separate? So they get to 4 years, 11 months, and 29 days. And then somebody drops dead next to them. Now they're going to shave their head. They're going to wait, and their clock starts again. Wow. Verse 13, this is the ritual law for Nazarites. At the conclusion of their time of separation as Nazarites, they must each go to the entrance of the tabernacle. And Nazarites are not Nazarenes. Nazarenes are from Nazareth. Nazarites are these people who separate themselves, right? 14, and offer their sacrifices to the Lord, a 1-year-old male lamb without defect for a burnt offering, a 1-year-old female lamb without defect for a sin offering, a ram without defect for a peace offering, a basket of bread made without yeast, cakes of choice flour mixed with olive oil, wafers made without yeast, cakes of choice flour mixed with olive oil, and wafers spread with olive oil, along with their prescribed grain offerings and liquid offerings. The priest will present these offerings before the Lord. First, the sin offering and the burnt offering, then the ram for a peace offering, along with the basket of bread made without yeast. The priest must also present the prescribed grain offering and liquid offering to the Lord. The Nazarites will shave their heads at the entrance of the tabernacle. They will take the hair that had been dedicated and place it on the fire beneath the peace offering sacrifice. After the Nazarites' head has been shaved, the priest will take for each of them the boiled shoulder of the ram, and he will take from the basket a cake and a wafer made without yeast. He will put them all into the Nazarite's hand. Then the priest will lift them up as a special offering before the Lord. These are holy portions for the priest, along with the priest of the special offering and the thigh of the sacred offerings that are lifted up before the Lord. After this ceremony, the Nazarites may again drink wine. This is the ritual law of the Nazarites who vow to bring these offerings to the Lord. They may also bring additional offerings if they can afford it, and they must be careful to do whatever they vowed when they set themselves apart as Nazarites. Wow. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell Aaron and his sons to bless the people of Israel with this. This is the priestly blessing. Let me go back to the Nazarites real quick. I feel like I want to understand this. Like, I feel like this is something I might want to just study. This has piqued my, first of all, a lot of things pique my curiosity, but this has kind of piqued my curiosity, right? Why would they choose, like, why would they choose to dedicate themselves to the Lord, but like, what kind of vow would they make? What would they be saying with, like, that they're not gonna, maybe they're not gonna, I don't know. I'm very curious, like, what does that mean? And I wonder when they start, I don't know, because I mean, I just know we just read it, but I wonder, let's say that you want to make a Nazarite vow. And I know it's like, I'm just talking about like symbolic, right? Like, let's say I want to make a Nazarite vow. I want to do this thing. I want to go back to the old way, not because I think I have to do it to save my soul, but because, like, okay, we're curious. We want to do this and see this closeness and do this vow to the Lord. Do you shave your head to start? And then you do it? Do you know what I'm saying? And then what are you taking a vow from to separate yourself for a year, for 2 years, like some type of cleansing? I'm not team divorce. Y'all know I'm team marriage, but I could see, because I'm just thinking, like, under what circumstances I can understand, like, if a woman, if, she's married and then she gets divorced, maybe when the divorce is final, maybe she, separates herself as a Nazarite for the Lord for the next 12 months, for the next 18 months, the next 24 months, just going to dedicate my life to you. I'm going to do all these things. I just wonder, like, what are they doing? What are they vowing to do? Are they going to serve so many hours? Or I don't know. I'm just very, very curious. Very curious, Verse 22. Then the Lord said to Moses, or somebody who's not married, but maybe you've had sex and you've been having sex and you've been dating, and now, you've come to know the Lord or whatever. And so now you want to do like a vow to separate yourself. So now you're not going to drink any alcohol whatsoever. You're not going to be cutting your hair, and you're going to be not dating, or maybe you're going to be celibate for 18 months, or maybe you're not going to date for 12 months because you want to like do this vow and separate yourself to God. I don't know. It's very interesting. Verse 22, then the Lord said to Moses, tell Aaron and his sons to bless the people of Israel with this special blessing. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. Whenever Aaron and his sons bless the people of Israel in my name, I myself will bless them. Amen. That was really good. It's very interesting. My mind's like all over the place right now. A lot of very interesting things that we read today. Listen, reading is just the beginning. I know that we do this Bible reading every day, Monday through Friday, but this is just the beginning. So I wonder what you're doing on Saturday and Sunday. So we're not doing Bible reading. We kind of stick together. Are you going back looking at some of the things that maybe you highlighted? Are you going back looking at some of the things that maybe I couldn't explain to you, or I didn't explain that you wanted to know more about? Like, I wonder what y'all are doing on Saturday and Sunday for your Bible time. And we're here together about 30 minutes. It's only been about 20 minutes today. I'm really going to try to get it down to where I'm just reading. I think I want to get it down to where I'm just like strictly reading, so that you guys, this is not your whole Bible time. I don't want this reading to be your whole Bible time, unless you've just started, I guess. If you're a beginner and I don't mean like a new Christian, I mean new to creating the habit of being in the Word every day, then this is good for you. This is your 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the Word. This is good. You're building that up. Look at that consistency. I'd love for you to track it too. How many days you watch and comment. Every day that you watch, every video that you watch, I want you to comment on, and I want you to track it somewhere. Like if you have a planner, I don't have my planner over here, but I do a lot of tracking in my planner. I'd love for you to do some tracking, because that way, when things get crazy, like right now, I feel like, what have I done in my life ever? Because things are crazy right now with the dog. And I told y'all the other day, I was like so sleepy. I didn't feel like reading the Bible. I was just so tired because of the dog and the thing with the car and just all those things. But when I look back through my journal, when I look back through my planner and I see what I've been doing, I've tracked. I can see that I've tracked these readings. I can see that I've tracked my time in the Word. And so maybe there have been days that I haven't, but I can see that I do have some consistency, and I'm just in a season, or I was just in a rut, and I can kind of shake myself out of it instead of allowing the enemy to beat me up. So one, track these days somehow in your planner that you listen to the Bible being read. You can track it here. Let us know. We'd love to celebrate with you. Like, hey, this is day 50. Y'all on day 56, and I done watched all 56 videos. Maybe I'll get the playlist together for y'all this weekend so that all of them are in there. I keep saying that, but maybe I'll get the playlist together for y'all this weekend. So all of 56 days are in one playlist, and you can go through, and check off the ones that you've done, Okay. Well, I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Before I go, though, y'all know what it is. I want to invite you to join us July 14th through the 17th, Greensboro, North Carolina, the Grand Over Resort and Spa for the Faith Ignited Retreat. You can go to boldfaithchurch.org to register, to reserve your spot. It is going to be an absolutely amazing time. If you are a leader, and you have the privilege and the honor of leading at your church, whether it's on staff or volunteer. If you are a ministry leader and you are leading like Bible study, if you are ordained, if you are any of those things, and you typically do all the things with your church, it's like, but you're a leader, so there's this like little bit of a separation. This is a great space for you to come to, because as leaders, we don't often get to let our hair down. As leaders, we don't often get to get poured into and served. We have been called to serve, and we do it and we love it. It's the thing that we love. We also hypocrites. How can you want the honor of serving people and not allow yourself to be served? if you are a leader, this is a great place for you to come and get poured into as a leader. It's a great place for you to connect with other women who lead in their respective communities, maybe build some relationships, think about some collaborations, some things you guys could do together for the kingdom. And it's a great place for you to experience being served and not having to be on because you're the one that's leading, you know? So, I love y'all. Go to boldfaithchurch.org. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m. EST for church. We are looking at Acts chapter 6. Oh, it's good too. It's real good. It's gonna be so good tomorrow. I got a good word for y'all. The Lord's got a good word, and I'm gonna deliver that thing for y'all tomorrow. So I hope to see y'all there. All right, love y'all. Later.